Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Olivia and I make videos about anthropology every single Monday. And as you saw in the title of this week's video, we're going to be talking about political anthropology. And I wanted to say thank you to Nasiha, I think that's how you say that, for suggesting this video. So without further ado, let's just dive into all things political anthropology. Now, when you Google political anthropology, this is probably the definition that you're gonna get. Political anthropology is the comparative study of politics in a broad range of historical, social, and cultural settings. Now, anthropology as a greater field tends to look at things with a broader and more open-minded perspective, and this remains to be true within political anthropology. Political anthropology examines political systems, but it takes into account historical and cultural factors. So basically, this basic Google definition is trying to tell you that political anthropology is looking at politics, but with a lot of other variables in mind. But stick around because it's a little more complex, so we're just getting started. Now, before we can get super deep into it, you need to understand where political anthropology actually fits in to the greater field of anthropology more broadly. And to anyone who may not know this, a lot of you probably do, but just in case, anthropology can be broken down into four main subfields. These subfields are biology, culture, archaeology, and linguistics. Now, political anthropology is considered a subfield of cultural anthropology or sociocultural anthropology, depending on where you learned anthropology. That's a story for another day. Cultural, sociocultural, all that stuff. But political anthropology is considered a field within sociocultural anthropology, and I think that helps you guys a lot because you have to understand with what lens we're looking to understand politics in anthropology. Now, political anthropology is often conducted through a combination of ethnographic field study as well as using historical perspectives to get a good, clear understanding of, again, political systems. But remember, political systems look different everywhere. And if you don't know what an ethnography is, be sure to check out, I think the link goes up here, if you want to get a deeper understanding of what that really is. Now, we're putting all the pieces in place right now. You know where political anthropology fits into anthropology, but you still need to understand politics more broadly so we can really get a good idea of how political anthropology is different from political science. So when you look up politics, it's more broadly defined as this: the activities associated with the governance of a country or other area, especially the debate or conflict among individuals or parties having or hoping to achieve power. There's some key terms in here, right? Governance, debate or conflict, having hope to achieve power, right? This definition of politics is looking at the more official systems in place in different regions around the world, and also takes a look at how different people, cultures, communities, countries fight over regions they debate or conflict, right? How we accumulate power to assert our power over regions. But anthropologists will define politics differently, and that definition is this: politics cannot be treated as its own field or domain, but must be evaluated as an articulation between power relations, cultural processes, and historical trajectories. What is this even saying? Guys, this is the core of anthropology, in my opinion, because anthropologists will continue to tell you that you can't look at things in isolation, right? You can't say, I'm going to study politics and ignore everything else, because everything else plays into how we understand politics and how politics actually works. Like it says in this definition, it cannot be treated as its own field or domain. There's other things such as power relations, cultural processes, and historical trajectories that all play a role in how politics actually looks in the real world. So an anthropologist who studies political anthropology will tell you that political anthropology is this amalgamation of many variables. Really quickly, if you have not liked or subscribed, definitely do that because I talk about anthropology every single Monday. It's just a bunch of nerds hanging out, and I reply to basically everybody in the comment section down below. I do my best. So yeah, leave me a comment down there and tell me what interests you about political anthropology. Okay, back to the video. So throughout the years, political anthropology has gone through some phases. I know that's pretty vague, but I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty here. But to say the least, political anthropology has gone through periods where you know, anthropologists are developing it or working on it a lot. And then it's also gone through some phases where it kind of has fallen to the background in the field of anthropology and people weren't paying as close attention to it. But today, through this like on and off system thing that was going on with political anthropology, it's kind of come to a head now where there's two big ideas that political anthropologists are studying. The first one is understanding this idea of how individual people across the entire world build power and assert this power over other people, right? How do we again maintain this idea of social order, and how does it look different from culture to culture? In that original definition that I was talking about earlier, political anthropology is the comparative study of politics in a broad range of settings, right? So we're comparing different political systems around the world, but also comparing how different regions, cultures, communities maintain order, right? It's very important in general to maintain some kind of order. So that's the first one. The second big idea that political anthropologists are studying and examining is this. So anthropologists have kind of come to this conclusion that behavior can not only be political, right? We have political behavior, but political behavior is a human universal. No matter who you are or where you go, you are going to find political behavior. Now, this is a bold statement, right? Things like this I tend to steer away from because it's really hard to back that up. But basically, anthropologists are arguing that you're going to see some variation of people trying to maintain social order, assert their dominance, accumulate power, etc., no matter where you go. And this field compares all these kinds of politics, right, all over the world, all across the globe. It's awesome. So what's the whole point of this video? What's the take-home message, right? Okay, guys, at its core, when you think of politics, I think a lot of people think governance, laws, how to enforce the laws. And this is a big part of political anthropology. I'm not going to steer you wrong and say that that's not a part of it, because it is. But it's also acknowledging that political systems look different, and also, right, behavior on a small or large scale is political, right? Everything that we do, everything that we say, everything that our governments or leaders do can be interpreted as political. And that's really important to acknowledge and understand. And on top of that, wow, I am really getting into it today. On top of that, politics cannot be looked at in isolation. We have to understand politics as it relates to all these other things at the same time. Does that make sense? Political anthropologists are comparing and contrasting this diversity of politics, and I think it's really wonderful. And if you think it's really wonderful, let me know in the comment section down below. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I make videos about anthropology every single Monday, and I will see you all next week. All right, you guys, bye.